So I do have an update on the Brooklyn Wilson and Armando Palma case from Oklahoma. It will be at the end of this video.
Most kids depend on their parents to protect them, but what happens when your parents are the ones that hurt you? So there should be a trigger warning on this. This case is vile, and also it's not an Arkansas case, but it is an Oklahoma case. So a woman contacted authorities in Oklahoma after she received SA material via Snapchat. The SA material that she received depicted a young child being assaulted. Through investigation, police were able to determine that this young child was around the age of 5 years old. 5. Now, the person that sent this SA material was also in the actual videos SAing the 5-year-old, and that person was identified as the actual biological father of the 5-year-old. His name is Armando Palma. I'm not sure why Armando thought that it would be a good idea to send these materials to this woman. According to court records, this woman used to date Armando at some point in time, and he just Snapchatted her this stuff for whatever reason. So police, of course, went through these videos and photographs that were sent via Snapchat with a fine-tooth comb, and then they got a search warrant for the home that Armando Palma lived in. When they searched his home, they found that Armando Palma actually lived with the biological mother of the child, whose name is Brooklyn Wilson. Now, Brooklyn Wilson is actually a paraprofessional at a school in Oklahoma, the Howe School District. And Armando Palma actually has a registerable amount of Indian blood. So during the search, police were able to find a lot of items that were also found in the videos and photographs, which said like, yeah, this is the right home. This is the child, that was SA'd and that has everything to do with these videos and photographs. They found bedding that went with bedding that was depicted. They found children's underwear that was the same children's underwear that the child was wearing in some of the material. As part of this search warrant, also took a number of electronic devices, including Brooklyn Wilson's own phone. Now, they did find that there are some things in Brooklyn Wilson's phone, some pictures that were sent between her and Armando Palma that show that Brooklyn Wilson actually had involvement in everything that went on. For instance, in one video, a female hand could be seen touching the genitalia of the young child. In another video, Brooklyn Wilson herself is seen using a certain toy to hit the buttocks of the child. It really looks like Brooklyn Wilson was an active participant in this, in SAing her own biological child with Armando Palma, who shared this biological child. These two had a biological child that they chose to SA and downright rape together, allegedly, or at least that's how it appears. So Armando Palma, who also goes by AJ Palma, and Brooklyn Wilson were both arrested on April 17th, 2024, and they are being held on a litany of charges. Armando Palma has been charged with aggravated child sexual abuse, as well as the receipt of CSAM, and Brooklyn Wilson has been charged with aggravated child sexual abuse, sexual exploitation of a child by a parent, distribution of CSAM, and possession of CSAM. So this is certainly a case that I want to follow. It kills me that kids in this position have no one to rely on, because the people they're supposed to be able to rely on are the ones harming them. And honestly, it just reminds me of Benjamin Cooney and his wife, who are from Arkansas, and they're in the Benton County Jail, or have charges in Benton County, where they actually said, allegedly, that if they had a child, they would want a girl so that they could SA her. It's just what it makes me think of. And I'm not saying that these parents had this child in order to SA her, but they had a child and that's what they chose to do with her. And her life will be a struggle because of what she's been through. And I'm not saying that she won't be able to overcome, but the struggle's already there because her parents did this to her.
Okay, this is the update. So about Armando Palma first. Armando Palma, they were both charged in federal court. So Armando Palma filed to change his plea from not guilty to guilty. That filing occurred on November 12th, 2024. He agreed to plead guilty to count 7 in the indictment. And then as a deal for him pleading guilty to count 7, they were going to drop count 8, 9, 11, and 13. And that count 7 that he's pleading guilty to is actually transportation of a minor in violation of a United States code. That code comes back to transportation with intent to engage in criminal sexual activity, which is like transporting a person under the age of 18 interstate or foreign commerce for that purpose of prostitution or sexual activity. And it comes with a sentence of not less than 10 years, and it can go all the way up to life. It also says that he connected with people basically and sent out that CSAM through connections, affiliations, organizations, using the mail or any other means to get it dispersed. So that is Armando. And then we'll go to Brooklyn Wilson. Now, keep in mind, Brooklyn Wilson actually had a job where she worked with children, and then she was doing that to her own child, right? So she also filed a notice around the same time that she was going to enter a guilty plea to counts 3, 4, 5, 6, and 12 of the indictment on that same day, November 12th. Now, those counts that so Brooklyn agreed to plead guilty to counts 3, 4, 5, 6, and counts 1 through 6 were aggravated sexual abuse in Indian country. So that is just different dates when abuse occurred. Like 3 was November 2nd, 2023. Then it goes on where 4 is November 9th, December 4th is 5, and then March 3rd is 6, March 3rd, 2024. The rest of them are 2023. So those are those counts. And then count 12 that she agreed to plead guilty to was possession of certain material involving the sexual exploitation of a minor. And with federal court, it's difficult to know like what kind of sentence any of those charges actually carries. But I can say that there was a man in Oklahoma this year that actually accepted a guilty plea to aggravated sexual assault of a minor in Indian country. And he was sentenced to 30 years in prison. So I don't know. It doesn't look good for Brooklyn Wilson, but we will see. I mean, ultimately, really, truly, I just hope that the child is able to go on with her life and have minimal scars from the terrible things that her, birth givers did to her, because it's truly heinous. I don't know that any parent would do that to a child. I just can't imagine. And, a 5-year-old at that, who knows how long they had been doing that to that child. Maybe she grew up and that's all she ever even knew. And it's heartbreaking. It's truly heartbreaking. So I hope that she's okay. And I hope that her DNA donators, I guess we'll call them, because I don't want to call them parents, hope they get what they deserve. I hope they enjoy their time in federal prison. And I hope they're there for a long time, a long, long time.